Thanks for talking to us on City FM.
Thank you. Bernard, the point is that I didn't set out to do anything that will compromise any work any other anti-corruption crusader has done or is doing. I was very happy when I heard that some judges had been exposed taking bribes on camera. It's only when I had the duty of going to deliver a lecture to law students and I started researching that I realized that all these years, the company that calls itself Tiger PI has a legal and constitutional program. So when I started doing the research, I realized that no, the company is not active in accordance with the Constitution and the laws of Ghana. Then I recall that this is a company that really has done previous undercover work for the government. So as I delved at the background of the company, I realized that, look, from my personal knowledge as a former minister, this is a company which the government had used in other things. And as a result of certain conflicts between 2009 and then at the time I left office, the government was determined to prove to the judiciary, upon the judiciary's request, that the judiciary was indeed corrupt. So I was surprised that they would use an undercover agent who, from my researches, was not registered under the laws of Ghana. Because when I looked at the website of Tiger IPI, which calls itself Private Investigation Agency in Ghana, I realized that its objects were different from Tiger IPI Media Limited, which is the one registered in the Register of Companies. Then I also realized that Tiger Eye Limited, which is registered by the Register of Companies, has clear objects to carry out the investigative television documentaries. 2, to engage in print and radio journalism, to investigate news behind the news editorials, to conduct private intelligence. These are what Tiger PI Media Limited was incorporated to do, right? But when you go to the website of Tiger Eye PI in Private Investigation Agency in Ghana, you will find that its objects are undercover agency, excuse the people, comprehensive undercover investigation, deep company due diligence, undercover surveillance, hidden camera planting, deep employee background check, observational due diligence, undercover security personnel, airport pickup, customized comprehensive operations, etc., etc. This is clearly inconsistent with the objectives of Tiger Eye PI Media Limited. And then you will realize that the company's code does not permit a company registered under the company's code not to use its full name. And the name on the website is not Tiger Eye PI Media Limited. So clearly, with a different objective, it is different from the registered one, right? This is why I came to the conclusion that that one on the website is a fraud and a dummy.
Fine. But to the extent that you admit in previous articles that you support generally fight against corruption.
Yes.
And that you also think that the Chief Justice has proceeded correctly in the way she's handling the information she's gotten.
Yes.
Is this matter of his articles of incorporation and what he says he does, how substantive is it to the ultimate goal of fighting against corruption?
You see, an anti-corruption crusader must be a man of unblemished integrity himself, transparent and accountable, right? So if you present a company to the international community with objects which are inconsistent with the registered company, it shows a level of dishonesty, both domestically and internationally. You can't therefore say you are transparent and objective. Do you understand me?
Fine.
And with my accusation that he was commissioned by the government, right? Clearly, I am saying that as an undercover operator commissioned by the government, the only reason why he has survived with this government fraud on his website is because as an undercover investigator, the government has overlooked the law. The government has overlooked the law. You know what I mean? And has overlooked all his breaches just to permit him to do their bidding for them.
Then it would mean then that your commendation of the Chief Justice is out of place.
It is not out of place.
Because she is using a flawed, because you are questioning the integrity of the person who produced the evidence.
Look.
So then how can the Chief Justice be right and yet Anas be an undercover agent illegally?
Look, a volunteer,
you need to reconcile that.
A volunteer cannot be injured. Nobody, the Chief Justice did not ask Anas to go out and do undercover investigation to arrest judges. He decided on his own to go and do that. He brings results. The Chief Justice cannot throw them away, right? As a head of the judiciary who wants to make sure that his house is clean, she is compelled to act upon it and to deal with those judges if it is shown that they had ex-party conversations with somebody, whether the fellow is legal or illegal. I've said that in my writer. You will deal with it. The source of the evidence is immaterial as long as it is available. But that does not mean that if the private person or the government agent who produces the evidence can be dealt with legally, the law will not deal with him.
But your claim that he's a government agent, he has flatly denied. And even in his latest repost that he posted on social media, he says that you have not proved that he's a government agent.
I don't need to prove, because I have demonstrated in my writer that he has worked for the government on a number of occasions. He himself has admitted it in his response to me today, 2 days ago. He has admitted and even indicated some of them.
But he denies that this specific one.
Wait. So once I have been able to establish that he is being a consistent agent of the government, right? It is for him to prove that on this occasion.
No, but hold on.
On this occasion, he was not a
My understanding of what he said is that there have been times where he has collaborated with state authorities, and in all those occasions, he has been clear to state that. But in this specific case of judicial expose, he has not been commissioned or is not working for government. So that the fact that he's admitted that he worked for government, for example, for the soul takers, does not necessarily translate into
an undercover government agent is an undercover government agent.
Always?
He is.
In every job he does?
He is an undercover government agent. On his website, his first client is the government of Ghana.
For a specific job?
Which job does he state there?
But he's already admitted specific jobs done for government.
No, which job does he state there? And in any case, I am telling you that he himself has stated that there was work undone for Professor Mills, right, which was supposed to be completed after Professor Mills' death. And I'm telling you that even after Professor Mills' death in 2013, who was to complete the work? The work was to be completed for his successor.
Yeah, but he's done other jobs, Mr. Amidu. Just be clear. I know the reference you are making, but after 2012, he did an expose on DVLA, which he showed. So if you're saying that because the judicial corruption one was done after Mills' death, that means that the reference he made to completing a job for Mills connects specifically to that job, it's not necessarily correct. It could have been any of the jobs that he did within that period.
It's necessarily correct because Mills was succeeded by a vice president, right, who went ahead to give him a government biometric service passport, right, which is consistent with my perception of the fact that the government was determined to prove corruption in the judiciary. I have told you that it was part of the agenda of the government in the several ways to kill a cat, in the Atuguba and Co's corrupt judges incident, right, which involved Chris Akuni and co. You know what I mean? And if you recognize, since this thing arose, Chris Akuni and co. and Amalewa and co. were claiming that it's a government job. There's an article on it, right? And Kwaku was quick to tell them not to say it's a government job. That goes to prove what I am saying, that he was a commission agent, because even the operatives of the government who are still in government have said on social media that that job was commissioned by the government.
Which Tiger Eye has denied.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you that a covert agent, when he is exposed, will deny. I've said that. I've written that. In Watergate, they boggled into the place. It was only when a parliamentary commission was set up that they had to admit. So it takes common sense for you to know that what I'm saying is credible.
So he is asking if you produce a memo or some government document showing.
What document will ever be there for a covert agent? What agent? I'm telling you what I know as a former Attorney General. And the fact that the government was determined to prove that the judiciary was corrupt. And I'm saying that the principal actors in that saga became very close operatives in the presidency.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that all that is well and good, but that does not prove.
I am saying
the word is prove that he is not, even the possession of the even the possession of the passport may not necessarily be proof. Because now we are talking about proof.
Listen to me. I have adduced sufficient evidence, including quotations from his own mouth and others, to show that there is a nexus between what happened in 2010, when they said there are several ways of killing a cat, what happened in 2011, and twice in 2011. And the fact that in my time, the government was determined to prove that the judiciary was corrupt. And I'm saying that this is the carryover of that commission. What evidence do I have to give? You don't expect me to go and bring a letter. It's a corporate operation.
Fair enough. What about?
And I'm saying that the biometric passport given to a person who is not an employee of government is testimony of the fact of his being a covert agent.
Let's leave that.
And he hasn't responded to that. He should deny it.
Okay, let's move to the next issue of the claim that he has done a job on the legislature, which job he is keeping because it affects certain people in the executive.
I have I have responded to it today. I have said that he admits that he showed a 20-minute film.
Judicial on the judicial.